What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Beards and Gears. And today we're going to start designing the actual hydro handle on CAD. So there's not going to be much of me today. You're not going to see much of this. It's mainly going to be the computer and a nice voiceover, so that you guys can get a better idea of how the engineering process kind of works. You're learning with me, so there are things I'm going to be messing up on, and there are some things that I think I'm going to be doing pretty well. All right, so we're going to be moving kind of fast here. Just so you guys know, for some reason, I lost a clip of me actually designing this thing from the beginning, but as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. I just made those two shapes via CAD, and I'm now extruding it. The extrusion process is basically just allowing me to build that solid body that you see right in front of you. So now over here I realized I needed to make some modifications. The distances weren't exactly where I wanted them to be. That is the length of the part that's angled down that actually attaches to the hydro. So right here I'm just taking a look at my design, making sure it looks nice, and now I'm going to begin the process of actually making the holes. And these holes are where the bearing sits. So the bottom is a pivot point, and as we'll see later on, it doesn't really experience any forces, and we calculate for that. So I first start off by getting the right radius, and you're going to probably say, hey Ismail, your radius is not right. You have a 22 millimeter bearing and you made that small. I think it's 21.4 here. Well, yes, I just needed to get a design started. Later when I do my rendition, I am going to speak to somebody that actually knows what they're doing, and we're going to go ahead and actually put a tolerance in there so that I can have it set up as a press fit. It should be 21.997 millimeters, but I need an expert to check that out for me. So now we've made our two holes, and now I have to set that distance between them. The way I do that is I take the distance that I have, which is 16 millimeters roughly, and then I add the entire radius, the entire diameter of those two circles, because I did it from the inside point to the inside point, and I need to accommodate for the radius of the actual holes. Now here we are beginning to cut my hole through. And the thing that I have to be careful about here is just making sure that I don't go all the way through, because that radius is not going all the way through. I have the smaller hole on the other side that accommodates for the bolt going through. This adds some structural rigidity to the entire handle, and now I'm adding what's called fillets. Now the fillet option allows for me to have a smoother handle. Just put some nice edges around it, and we go ahead and we take care of that. Here, I'm kind of struggling with the other side, but we do get that taken care of later on down. I do not have that footage, unfortunately. And now we begin to run a simulation. I realize that I have some excessive force, some excessive stresses around that top area. Majority of the pressure is from the pulling action. And I actually modified that. I added a loop, which surprisingly is what Chase Bays did to both of those. I just happened to be thinking the same thing before I got my package, and it works. So there's no reason to get rid of that. So here I'm checking for the stresses inside the actual material to get an idea of what's going on inside of it. I need to make sure that I'm not going to have excessive stresses deep within the core of this stuff. All right, everyone. So with that, we are done designing the hydro. This is the rendition I'm gonna go with. Right now, the next step is to go to the makerspace at my college. Either that or I'm gonna end up buying my own 3D printer, but that's for a later date. But I'm going to speak to someone as well from my university and get a second opinion on my hydro, see if the design looks good. There are some things like the bearing clearances that I need to take into account, which I'm pretty sure I didn't, but I've got the design under wraps. We're gonna 3D print and see how it goes. So stay tuned for the next episode. I got some pretty exciting content to come. Thank you for watching. And as always, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your cousin, tell your mother, tell your father, tell everybody. And with that, peace out.